Jetour has officially launched in South Africa, and they have here one of the first models that they've introduced. It is the Jetour Dashing, and quite true to its name, this car really is dashing, spectacular. It looks quite appealing, and I don't always agree with Chinese car names, but this one really fits the mold. One thing Chinese automakers will always do, and I love them for this, is give you subtle nuances and features that sort of resemble that of supercars, luxury cars that we've always seen on the roads, but we can't really afford. And that's what they've done here. I see a Lamborghini Urus, and you have to agree. Those sleek headlights, those double fogs, the big grille, the angle that it's sitting at, it really is giving Lamborghini Urus, and I'm here for it. In the front, you have your badge in chrome, Jetour, and I heard someone call it, funny enough, the Jet Hour. That is incorrect. I did some research for you. It's actually two words, Jet and Tour, which stand for convenience and journey, right? And I think that's what they're hoping this car will achieve. The side profile gives you coupe-esque designs. It also has a chrome surround around the windows, which I think elevates the car and makes it look a bit more premium. And of course, you do have your pop-out handles, which is actually the thing nowadays, right? I do feel though that it does feel quite flimsy and it could break easily. This does worry me just a little bit. The Dashing measures 4,590 millimeters from front to the rear with a wheelbase of 2,720 millimeters, making it around 90 millimeters longer than the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. The taillights wrap around from the side of the car, coming on over to the rear. They have a checkered design inside, very sporty feel they have, and of course just down below here you have your rear sensors as well as a nicely designed rear diffuser. No gimmicks, no funny exhaust pipes that don't really work, but it actually still looks very sporty and aggressive, and that's the feel of the whole car all around. I like what it looks like outside. I want to see what it looks like inside. The interior is exquisite. The red accents running through this car on the black, that contrast really works every time. It feels very sporty and premium. The seats are sumptuous leather, bucket designed as well, so they kind of just support you as you are sitting in there. They do feel like they have been tailor-made just for this car. Over in the front of the dash, you have your elongated screen. It is 10.5 inch for the infotainment system as well as the digital cluster. I also like how the chrome is just minimal. It really feels very classy and premium. You have your nicely sized gear, and of course you also have your cup holder, charging pad. Coming through with more sportiness is that flat bottom steering wheel, multifunctional, and it actually is quite a good size. It feels good to hold, but how does it feel to drive? So the Jetour is also a standalone brand under Chery. Of course, we've had a few of those on the channel. We had Amoda, we had Jetour, and I also think the market is receiving all these products really well. I mean, you have a lot of people who have been inquiring in my inboxes, on how safe and how trustworthy these cars are. But to be honest, only time will tell. We need about 10 years odd to really see the longevity of these cars, but there is something in me that really trusts that they will hold together, that the quality build, everything that has gone into this car really has improved from what we've received in previous years. So at launch, this car was introduced in two trims, the Momentum as well as the Deluxe. We are in the Deluxe currently, and both have a 1.5 litre turbocharged engine, 6-speed dual transmission, and it pushes out 115 kilowatts and 213 newton meters of torque. It drives really well. I really cannot fault it on the drive quality. It handles the road quite well. The steering wheel, I will say, feels a bit too loose. I do think there is a lot of wind noise coming through into the cabin. Nothing too much, but it is at higher speeds that you will pick up that road noise. But other than that, I found no qualms. I enjoyed the drive in this car. Has a huge panoramic sunroof encapsulating the whole car. Lots of sunlight coming in. So it does feel more of a luxury SUV. You really do feel and look good in this car, which is what you ultimately want from an SUV of this caliber. Jetour South Africa says it already has set up 40 dealerships across the country and started building up stock for spare parts in headquarters in Johannesburg, so that should give you a peace of mind when purchasing this car. And I have seen with my own eyes the dealerships that they have set up before we even saw this car. The Dashing furthermore features a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty and a 5-year or 60,000 kilometer service plan. Priced at 439 for the Momentum and 469,900 for the Deluxe, which is the one that I'm in. It does come really competitively priced because, I mean, an SUV that looks this good with all the nice trimmings and finishes, faux leather, all the features that have been giant packed, especially safety features, it really is quite a bargain. Standard safety features across the two derivative range includes ABS with EBD, electronic stability control, traction control, hill hold control, hill descent control, ISOFIX, child seat anchors, and tire pressure monitoring. The Deluxe also adds side curtain airbags, giving a total of 6 airbags all around, while the Momentum grade comes with just 4 airbags. I do think that Jetour has done a hell of a lot. They've come in aggressively and they want to take up a chunk in that market, and I do think that's exactly what they'll do because I am a fan. I even have a song for it. Well, it's not mine, but it fits. You are that I adore, Jetour Dashing. I love you. I do love this car. I really, really, really love this car. Phew. You're watching Ignition GT. Welcome back. It's hard not to resort to cliches when talking about the current crop of Chinese cars, so I'm not even going to say that they keep getting better. Let's just say that I was suitably impressed with the Jetour Dashing. But what did our guests think? Guys, you both got to drive the Jetour. Quite a dashing car, yes. Tell me about your impressions, Francois. Let's start with you.
Yeah, so I think just on the face of it,
Yeah.
for me, the biggest, I wouldn't say improvement, but what kind of sets it apart for me is the looks.
Yeah.
It's not trying too hard. This looks really classy. It looks upmarket. Good proportions.
Google, what were your impressions? I mean, just looking at the car inside, but also, you know, getting to drive the Jetour.
So I drove the car. The one thing I was impressed by was the details. You know, the tiny little details everywhere in the car. Interior is impressive. Yes, it's synthetic leather, but it's quite a good-looking interior. It's very spacious. I mean, if you sit in the rear, it's
You have
extremely
galore
spacious.
space, yeah.
And it doesn't look like the kind of vehicle. Driving-wise, obviously, it's a Chinese car. It's got a 1.5-liter petrol engine, turbocharged. And as much as, you know, these engines are a bit heavy on fuel, I love what the Chinese are doing with these engines. So if you compare that 1.5 with, say, something from a German competitor, similar size, this feels way more tractable. It performs, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about the mapping, what they've done with the mapping here.
Yeah.
All the power torque, it's all low end.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you're in a 1.5, you don't feel
That's
underpowered.
laboring and yeah.
Not at all.
I mean, we're getting what, 2 derivatives from this, hey? Just looking at both of those, are they too far apart in terms of, you know, added optional extras, or
Not at all.
are you still set having the Momentum?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you do get quite a lot in terms of additional equipment for your, I think it's a 50 grand premium, right?
Yeah.
So you get things like a panoramic sunroof, 40. electric passenger seat, ambient lighting, that kind of thing. But those, are kind of nice to have.
Let's talk about pricing a bit. Of course, it is a Chinese car, so we are expecting it to come up very competitively. What did you guys both think of, where it's positioned?
Look, I always appreciate that about the Chinese, that pricing is phenomenally good for what you're getting. This is under R500,000 for
Under 5
all of that,
that's
right? I mean, it's the same price as a Polo, essentially.
Yeah.
So why would I not?
Some of the Chinese manufacturers have come up for criticism about their, let's call it calibration, of the driver controls, right? So things like throttle response sometimes seems oddly mapped.
Yeah.
And in this car, that is not the case.
Yeah.
For some reason, they've set it up in such a way that it's responsive when you want it to be. It's not hypersensitive when you don't want it to be.
True.
Even things like like the safety systems in some of the cars that are very intrusive, or they have very loud warning signals. In this, it's actually just such a pleasant car to live with.
Yeah, it
every
was
day.
such a breeze even driving it, because I was quite scared of those, intrusive, alerts, and I just hate them.
Also, to add to what Francois was saying, it does have a dual clutch gearbox, and some of the dual clutch gearboxes that are coming out of China are not. I'm not a big fan of DCTs. And some of them are worse than others. This is one of the better ones. You don't feel that delay between you accelerating and the car eventually pulling off like 2-3 seconds later. So I think they've really done well in terms of collaboration and all of that.